/ like church, trying out a new church, and I'm gonna go ahead and say they are definitely written off the list because, and she felt so bad because she knew that I was trying to find like a church and everything. She's like, I'm just so sorry, like I'm still vetting the church and today just was not a good one for you. I was like, no, it's okay, like it's not on you, like obviously like you're still new or whatever, but I won't say the name of the church or anything like that. But before we even got to like the sermon, there was like, you know, like the announcements and like how they're catching up and stuff like that, and there was a lot of things that I'm used to going to certain types of churches based on how I was raised, and I'm all for like trying out, at this moment at least, trying out new churches and things like that, right? So I go and it's like praise and worship, and no one's singing along, no one's clapping their hands, no one's engaging. So that already kind of turned me off, right? Like there's no praise and worship in the praise and worship. I'm not going to say all of the things about the church because I don't want anyone to be offended by the things that I was essentially like offended by. So one thing I can share though is that the church was talking about how they're doing this walk to raise awareness for the #1 killer in Charlotte, right? It causes the most deaths in Charlotte. That's what he said. I didn't say this, so do not take this as me spewing incorrect statistics, because I personally do not think these statistics are correct. But he was like, yeah, we're going to be doing a walk this weekend. We would love it for everyone to come out. We're going to go out and, you know, support in demonstration of like the #1 killer in Charlotte. So you know me, I'm new here, you know, I'm trying to get my bearings, I'm trying to figure out what's going on in the stats in life. Child, he was talking about abortion. He said the #1 killer in Charlotte is abortion. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, because this is my page, so I'm gonna say what I want to say. No, I'm not gonna lie though, seriously, that I was over it at that point. At that point, I was like, yeah, I'm done. Like, I will not be back. Actually, no, I actually decided that before I even walked into the church. So I was walking into the church, and like, I'm used to being greeted. Like, hello, good morning, how you doing? Like, we're so happy to have you here. Like, these people that are ushers, and like, they're a part of the greeting team. Like, because the way I see it, like when you choose to volunteer in church, it's called volunteer. So that means you picked what you wanted to do. Like no one's forcing you to do it. So if you know you're not a people person and you don't want to speak, then maybe you shouldn't pick this role, right? That's what I'm thinking. And so like I'm saying good morning to people. They're just looking at me. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going because the girl that I'm meeting, she was trying to come up to meet me. But I was like, I'm already inside. Like I can try to find you or whatever. And like no one's helping me like figure out like where the extra stairs are. All this stuff. And I was just like, yeah, I won't be back here. Honestly, if I would have went to the church by myself and I wasn't meeting someone and I told her I was going to come to church with her, I would have left. And I ain't never left a church before. That would have been the time I left. It would have been the time I would have been like, you know what? I'm out. I am out. But since I told her I was going to meet up with her, we were going to get like lunch and stuff after, or get coffee after, I was like, I'm going to go. I'm going to stay. But I really want to leave. So then it was, so after like not being greeted and no one saying hello, good morning, and whatever, that's when like the stuff that happened inside the church where like there was no one like participating in the praise and worship. People were just standing there like statues. No one was singing along, like nothing. And I was trying to figure out the timetable because I'm trying to figure out like how much time do you really spend on the sermon? Like you're using up all this time to talk about all these other things that don't relate to the sermon, right? But you know, I was like, you know, I'm a visitor. I'm gonna figure it out. We're gonna do what I do. I'm already here. Cool. But when he said the comment about like abortion being the #1 killer in Charlotte, I don't know. I'm gonna look it up and see if it's true. I mean, he could be telling the truth, and maybe I just don't know. But I just felt like that was so, I don't know. I just felt like it wasn't appropriate personally. And so then he goes on to say, like, at this church, we proudly are pro-life, and you know, but not to condemn anyone that's had an abortion. Not to condemn anyone that had an abortion. I was just like, just looking into space, like looking around. No one's clapping, like in support of what he's saying. No one's like saying, like shaking their head no into what he's saying. Like nothing's happening. Everyone's just sitting there, statue silent. I'm just like, all right. When is he landing this plane that's clearly ready for a crash landing at that? Because it was just all over. The message was all over. I was able to get a little bit of what I needed out of it, or get what I could from it, but it was just a really like all over the place. And I was like, all right, well. So then I met up with her after. We went and got some coffee. The coffee was good. The food was trash. Won't be ordering food from there ever again. And then afterwards, I decided to go to Sprouts to get some milk. When I tell you I am defeated, I feel so defeated. Like, I had a mental breakdown. I had a mild mental breakdown because I was just trying to coach myself through it to not have a full mental breakdown. But a breakdown did indeed occur. And I didn't give up on my TV stand, but I just had to walk away from it for a little bit because, let me turn this down. I was in here watching Girlfriends. I don't know how many episodes I've gotten through trying to work on this TV stand. But basically, I decided to just go ahead and put it together and get my money back because I'm just over it. Like, I basically had a mental breakdown, and through the mental breakdown, I just had to like constantly remind myself, like, you've only been here 2 weeks. It's okay. It's okay. You've only been here 2 weeks. You're not gonna have everything. It's all right. It's all right. Remember, it takes time. It's okay. You know, you're gonna get organized. You'll find it'll happen. And I'm just like, no, it won't. And I was just like, it was a lot. But we finished the TV stand. This is what she's looking like. I think in that corner by the TV or by the deck, I'm going to put, or not deck, balcony. I'm going to put a plant right here. Probably those huge bird of paradises I was seeing at IKEA. And then I'll just leave the bar cart there for now, I guess. And then this aloe is going to go outside. I don't know why I haven't put it out there yet. But I don't know. I'm just struggling. So I've done all that, and now I still need to eat, because I have not eaten today. I had some waffles, but they were pretty much like the dessert waffles. So I've like had no meals today. There's still so many things to do, and I think it's like 6 o'clock. So we have finished our ground beef. My veggies and chicken are still going. And I did finish this little chickpeas and white bean salad. No recipe, just vibes, okay? Because if I was following a recipe, I would have had the supplies that I needed. So we're gonna try her. So it's just chickpeas, white navy beans. I'm sure you can use canned, but I'm trying to use up what I have, which was dried beans. So I soaked them overnight, a little more than overnight actually, because you guys remember my escapade yesterday of having to go out at the last minute. But anyways, soaked them, put them in the crock pot overnight. In the crock pot, I did just water, thyme, fresh garlic, paprika, garlic powder, cumin, cayenne. I think that's it. Maybe a tad bit of salt. And then it turned into like a nice pretty brown color actually. So I kind of made like a little bit of a broth on its own. But in here, I did Greek yogurt as like my mayo, because I don't buy mayo, so I kind of use like Greek yogurt as like my base for sauces and spreads, I guess. Fresh dill, cucumbers, red onions, and a squeeze of lemon juice. So we're gonna try her out. This is what she's looking like though, texture wise. We're gonna see. She's actually perfect. I think the only thing I would probably add is a little bit of heat. Because y'all know I gotta put some spice on everything. So we're gonna add a little bit of cayenne. I didn't want to go overboard with seasoning because I didn't try the beans first before I put them in the bowl. So I figured they would have already been perfect. So I'm doing cayenne and paprika actually. And I'm gonna do like a little tiny bit of salt. We're gonna try her again. And I know she'll be perfect once it's like chilled a little bit. And like I'll eat it. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have just made a big old bowl of it, but I didn't. I made this like little bowl. This is good. This is good. Now I'm faced with the dilemma, like, because I saved some of the beans to have as a side through the week. But I'm wondering if I should just toss them all in here and then eat off this as a side for some of my dishes as well. You may not believe it. I can't even believe it. But I actually like got some stuff done. Like I actually meal prepped. And I think to top it off, I'm probably just gonna go ahead and cook my rice tonight. That way it's ready as well for the week. Well, not for the whole week, but like, you know, I don't like to meal prep for the whole week. I like to cook for like 2 or 3 days and then cook again for 2 or 3 days. Because I just can't cook everything for like 7 days. Because for me, 1, I may not have a taste for it anymore. And 2, I just kind of think it's old. Like, I'm kind of just a little weird about that. I'm just weird like that. But we have our 64 ounces of green juice. It's celery, ginger, lemons, coconut water, apples, green apples, and pears. I feel like I sound a little nasally. When I tell y'all my fingers have been freezing, numb, cold from cutting up all this cold stuff, I feel like that's why I'm starting to sound nasally too. It's like, I feel like I'm getting a cold. or I am cold. But anyways, we have our ground beef. We have our chickpea salad. And the way the chickpea salad is going to work is that I'm going to eat it like as a side. I like to eat it as like a sandwich. I can eat it on salad. And then, of course, I still have my chia seed pudding that I made. And I actually felt like it needed a little bit more milk. So I transferred it from a big container that was like this big that I originally made it in to this smaller one, and then added a little bit more almond milk to kind of like stretch it so that way it's not like jelly. It was looking a little jelly-ish. Like, I don't know if it's because like, I don't know. I'm not even gonna try to pretend like I know. So I went ahead and add a little bit of milk. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and make some rice. That way that's done. And then through the week, I'll probably just cut up some sweet potatoes to have as a side. I got some kale in there to have as a side. I think this is like a good start for the week though. So today has been quite the day. It is 6:25 and I told you all that I was doing a meetup today, and I feel really bad because I am just still so really mentally drained from work, and I don't want that to rub off or like show in my like personality or like my initial first impression, because I don't know, I just feel like I've done so many things since I've like logged off from work, and I'm still very much so like heightened in my emotions from it. So And obviously I'm not going to cancel because we're supposed to be meeting in the next half an hour, but it's a struggle. And I'm trying to just be like, okay, it's almost the end of the week. The weekend's almost here. I actually do not have any plans for this weekend. I'm just going to go to a workout class and probably just sit around home for real this time, because I feel like I always say that and then I don't. But I'm probably just going to hang out at home and do a little couch rot, because I feel as though I've not had a good couch rotting session in quite some time, but I always feel guilty after as well. So I don't know. And then I also feel like I'm tired of shopping for things for my apartment. All of my money is going to decorating this apartment. I kind of just want to shop for me, Yeah, I'm just going to go and try to have a good time and try to like decompress, and hopefully it goes really well, because I haven't like made any friends here yet. I've gone on two Bumble meetups with two different people. And I haven't it's still pretty early. I mean, tomorrow only makes 3 weeks since I've been here. And I know it takes time to make friends, but on days like this, when I'm ready to just like couch rot and like drink a bottle of wine, like be real. I've had a day to say that I want to drink a bottle of wine. I can't even like tell you the last time I've had like more than 2 drinks in a sitting. That's how much I have like cut back on like alcohol. I'm officially the person that can check off the box that says, like that box when it's like, how often do you have a drink? Once a month. Once a month. 1 drink once a month. But I just feel like, I don't know. The thing that bothers me the most though about being upset about work is that like I'm in project management, and if you're new or you're not familiar with project management, basically project managers are like the leader of a project and a project team. Like they manage the project, which means you manage the team. However, they do not report to you in a sense of like you're their manager. You're just their project manager. Does that make sense? At least in this particular case, I don't know. There may be instances where like people's actual boss is their project manager or product manager as well. But not in this case. And in my industry, I've noticed that being in project management is just very, very high stress. And I don't think I thought about that when I initially got into this industry. I think I just thought like, I get to dabble my hands in a little bit of everything. And I don't like it. I don't like dabbling in everything all the time. Like it's just so many moving parts, and there's so many different people, and there's so many different projects, and there's so many different projects. And it's hard to keep up sometimes. And like you have to manage the project and manage the people. And sometimes at the end of the day, it just falls on you, like as the project manager and the project management team. And it's very unfortunate, because at the end of the day gonna end for the other people, and they gonna be like, I don't care that I didn't do X, Y, and Z. But as a project manager, your brain is just like swirling with all these things that didn't get done, things that are overdue, things that need to be escalated. Like it's just a lot. Like right now, my brain is just swirling, because I'm just like, I couldn't even repeat to you what I did this week for work. I couldn't. I feel like majority of my time this week was spent managing people. And I don't know. It's just been a really bit of a struggle. This is probably one of the worst weeks I've had in quite some time. And the one thing that sucks about work for me sometimes is that when it gets really bad, it's like really bad. And I just don't know what to do. So I just kind of like freeze up, and I just freeze in my heightened emotion of like being upset or angry or flustered. And I'm trying to learn how to set stronger boundaries, because I do have boundaries, but I'm also trying to learn how to like not let work infiltrate into my personal life. And it's hard, especially being in project management for 1, 2, in this economy with like all the layoffs and the things that are going on in the world and in the market. It's just really hard to not be so consumed with work. And then like working from home, like you think about work a lot because you do see your workstation and things like that. But I'm trying to learn how to be better at that, because I do want to enjoy my time here in a new city. I do want to go out and make friends. I want to make memories, and I want to experience new things, and I just need to learn that it's not the end of the world. Even though people may make it seem like it's the end of the world at work, it's not. And I don't know. I just feel like I operate differently when it comes to people. I'm very laid back. Like if I was someone's manager, I would be very laid back. I'm going to check in on you, make sure you have what you need. I'm going to like support you where you need to be supported, like speak up for you if I need to, make sure you're like, you're good. But as like a manager of like, I'm not a micromanager like at all. And unfortunately, right now I'm in a space where I'm navigating projects where like it requires me to micromanage. And I just don't like that because I feel like it'll pour over into my other projects and my other project teams, and they're doing very well. But it's also one of those things where it's like, I don't want it to pour over into my personal life. Like, depending on what you do for work, do you ever find that like how you have to be at work can pour over into your personal life? Like at work, I have to make a lot of like decisions, and I have to micromanage sometimes, and I have to follow up and like circle back and all those things, and like kind of like be in control and making sure I'm leading in the right direction. But like in my personal life, especially like if it comes to dating, I don't want to have to do all of that. Like I want to kind of just have to be able to, the ability to be able to take the back seat, or the ability to take the back seat where I can just be like, I don't got to control nothing. Like he got it. And with my friends, I don't want it to come off that way either. But I feel like sometimes when it comes to planning things with some certain friends, like I feel as though I'm just having a really hard time. Like maybe I should just take this over and just do the whole thing, and I just tell you what to do. Like, and I don't want it to be like that, and I don't want it to come off that way. But I do know like everyone has like, some people are type A and some people are type B, and like some people, they just prefer to just be told what to do. And I do have friends who are just like, you know what, just tell me where I need to be, what time and how much. Like I don't care about, and what I need to wear. And that's great. And sometimes when I just kind of want to get something on the books with them, that's great too. But like sometimes I'm kind of just like, when I'm stressed from work and I don't want to do anything or think, it's nice to have like other people around you that can just take care of that type of stuff too. And I don't want to always be like in control and like managing everything in my personal life because of how I have to do it at work. Because obviously at work, I don't really have much of a choice. But that was a whole long blurb of what's going on at work today. Well, not really what's going on at work, but like how my work day impacted me today. But I'm going to go ahead and head out so I can figure out what the parking situation is like and finish my hair, because I have these clips in to kind of like stretch my hair in the front. And we're going to head out.